You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Wepa, strap in and hold your helmets tight. Because today on the Comic Crusaders podcast, mi gente, we are making history. That's right, familia. Big Wepa energy on max overdrive because your boy Omega ain't just interviewing anybody. Nah. Today we're chopping it up with a straight up living legend. A creator whose lines crackle with electricity, whose worlds hum with danger, beauty, philosophy, and raw style. A man whose brushstrokes changed the whole game, man. We're talking Paul freaking Pope, man. And hold up. That's right, man. It is the maestro. And he returns to Mars after 30 years to bring us Total THB, volume numero uno, the beginning of a massive definitive edition of his iconic sci-fi epic, the book that fused manga edge, bande dessinée elegance, and Western swagger to something only he could cook up. So we're talking Plutonium City punk rock energy, Velo City dystopian madness, a rubber ball turned bodyguard ready to throw down, or H.R. Watson stepping into danger, destiny, and instant teledrama. Yo, THB is back, baby, and so is the Pope's comics. So let's get into these questions because today we going all the way in with the big boss himself. Welcome to the show, Paul. How you doing?
That was the best introduction I've ever had in my life.
There we go, man. I'm the greatest hype man of the business. I am Mr.
love
Web,
it.
man. But it ain't just hype, man. You are the man. You know, thank you for coming on. You are a living legend for sure. So that's one thing to hang out with me and talk about this journey, bringing back this baby and a whole lot more. So let's get in.
Thanks, man. Thanks everybody out there, for having me here. And I'm glad to be here.
No, but thank you. So, but let's do it, man. Paul, it's 30 years later. You're back on Mars, bro. So, what does it feel like?
Don't call it a comeback.
What does it feel like to revisit the world of THB now that both you and the comics industry have evolved, if you will?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, because THB is over 1,000 pages, and I think we're going to have 5 books by the end of it. They've announced 3 of them, but I think there's going to be 5. And strangely, even though in the 90s when I started this book, when I was just a little shaver, it was a strange project. And now it seems like it makes sense because the book is about AI and the book is about terraforming Mars and things. Science fiction, man. Science fiction is where it's at.
It's Postradamus here. Now he knows that Elon's plan 30 years ago was to terraform Mars. Postradamus, man. You just figured out what Elon's plan was 30 years ago. He is going to AI terraform Mars.
I mean, somebody's going to do it. Yeah, somebody.
I dig it. Now, did returning ever feel like reconnecting with an old friend or like meeting a stranger wearing your friend's face?
No, it was meeting an old friend. I mean, I know who Paul Pope was when he was 23, 24. I remember him and what he was trying to do. Like now I feel like I wish I could sit on his back and put my hand on his shoulder and tell him, no, I think you should do it more like this. Do it more like that. But I wasn't there as myself now. So I was the boy. I was the boy at the time. And I had to figure it out. And now I do things differently. But that's what I did then,
No, I get it, brother.
It meant something,
Excellent. So now THB, as you said, is a wild concept, but it's also a bodyguard that goes from rollerball to 9-foot juggernaut. Now, do you remember the exact moment that the idea hit you? And were you like, yeah, it might be crazy enough to work, or were you really feeling like from the moment that you said that it's going to be weird? I don't know. I don't know.
It was both. It was both. Actually, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I remember when I was a little kid, way before being a little shaver, just a little kid, watching Tex Avery's cartoon, The House of the Future. And there was a bit, this is a great cartoon. Everybody needs to watch this, House of the Future. It's ridiculous. But there was a bit where the house, like you could press a button or something and the house would fold up and you could put it in your pocket and walk away. And that, so I was like, wow, it's a really awesome idea. Like something something very small can be something very big.
Yeah.
And I thought about it for years and years and years. And when I was a kid, I lived with my grandparents, and we used to have this willow tree in the backyard. And after school, I'd come home, usually depressed and sad, and I'd sit under the willow tree and listen to the wind in the trees, and I'd feel better. And then I'd think about this idea, like a little thing that becomes a big thing, that becomes a little thing again. And eventually that became THB.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it, man.
All right. Look at that. All right. So
no shields, no filters, no shields.
Thanks to Tex Avery, sparking that imagination of yours, and kind of like putting a nail in your brain that didn't go all the way through until you were older, huh? Like, wait a minute. All right, I got the idea.
Well, I wasn't good enough. I mean, like making comics. Everybody thinks like comics is like, haha, comic books, haha. How much fun would this be to make comic books? It's actually a lot of work. Same as movies. It's like, there's a lot of work you have to put in to make it happen. And it's like, all right, well, I make a commitment, and then it's like, all right, I have a contract now. They paid me some money. I have to do this. This is my job. I enlisted. Like some guys go to Afghanistan, some guys go to Iraq, and it's like, I went to comic books. And I keep enlisting again and again and again, right? And what am I now, a veteran after 30 years? Maybe I am. I don't know.
No, you're definitely a vet, bro.
I don't feel like it, but maybe I am.
I'm 50 myself, and I still feel like I'm a 20-year-old. Don't you worry. I can still hop and skip.
Yeah. Hot for teacher. I don't feel tardy, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I keep enlisting, and I just don't know what else I would do with my life,
Yeah, man. When you know what you ought to do, man, I dig that, man. You got to stay on that lane, that you're on. Ride that algorithm, if you will. And let's talk about H.R. Watson, evolution, huge.
Mm-hmm.
What part of the personality is the most Paul Pope DNA?
Great question. Well, the most Paul Pope DNA is my sister, Erica. HR is my sister.
Okay.
So I knew that when I wanted to write a story set in the future, I wanted it to be seen through the eyes of a child. Because every world you move into is going to be new if you're a child, right? Like me and you are old enough to know certain things about the world, and like we have expectations, or we have let's even just say like biases or whatever you might say about how the world is, but children don't. And so I was like, I want to write a book about a little girl. I mean, little, she's a teenager, but you know what I mean. And like, let's see the world she's evolving into. So that was my idea. And then all the fun stuff, like superheroes fighting and robots and, all the humor and things like that. But it's like the heart of it is a coming of age story.
Gotcha. All right. So let me ask, what part of her journey surprised you the most while writing it? Was there any unexpected twist turn?
It's a great question. I don't want to spoil the story for people who haven't read it yet, but I think, let's put it this way, going from a sheltered life into an expanded life. and all of the steps that you have to go through in order to become that person. And by the end of the journey, she's not the same. And so I'm trying to tell a story about evolution, really, personal evolution.
And I did, man. It's a journey I've been on. I, for example, was married 25 years, right? Since the 90s, late 90s, and now I'm alone, and in this new world, like totally different. It's like you said, you wrote about AI 30 years ago. That wasn't even an idea yet. It was just sci-fi, based on Terminator, and
Right.
again, Postradamus. It's here, and I'll go into Mars. And and Elon has a mission to go there, so I'm piecing it together. I'm telling you, you have told the future of Mars. It's gonna be like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Did you just call me Nostradamus?
It's Postradamus. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Postradamus.
Postradamus is better. I love it. All right. So now, bro, Mars is divided, right? There's artistic chaos. There's a bureaucratic control. Now, which side of Mars would the 1990s Pope have lived in, and which side would 2025 Paul live in?
It'd always be P City. P City is the free city.
There we go. The free city.
P City means plutonium city.
Okay.
But it could also mean Pope City, right?
Hey.
The other day, my friend Raphael Grandpa is in town right now. He's working with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I love your artwork, man.
He's great. And keep your eyes open. We got some stuff cooking. But
really, ooh, the kitchen is hot. All right.
The kitchen's to turn up the skillet. But we walked by Popeyes. Popeyes, the chicken place, Popeyes, right?
Yeah, man.
And I looked at it. I said, "Man, do you see what that really says? That says Pope Yes." Pope Yes. That is not Popeyes. That's Pope Yes.
They are infringing on copyright. How dare they?
I was like, Popeye. Pope Yes.
Everywhere
Pope, yes.
you see, everybody's telling you yes. I see it, bro. I know what you
mean. I don't see the word no. I don't see
the
word no.
No one should, because when you're in the space of creation, especially you started off indie, rock and roll, getting your John done, right?
Look at me, man. Skull Ring. I mean, I'm part of the Skull Ring gang,
Yeah, I'm not that cool. I don't have a skull ring. I have a wolf ring.
You should go get one.
I got the wolf ring.
Wolf ring. Yeah. Okay, that works. That means that means we're cousins.
Yeah, we're family. All right, so let's talk about this, because your art does blend manga. It's Western. It's French, right? Because I've been putting on some French books, thanks to Cinebook. And so, what specific influences, maybe in each style, shaped THB the most?
I would say number one is Mobius.
Oh, monster.
The greatest. I think he's the Muhammad Ali of comics, bande dessinée, manga. He destroys everything. Otomo, who's number two. Akira. If you're watching this podcast, you probably should know who she is. My good friend Frank Miller. And the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Jack Kirby.
Oh, man. Dude, I wish that I had a chance to meet him. Me sad
too.
I never got to, man. Like, breaks my heart. I got to meet Neil Adams, Stan, all those. Oh my God, the Batman artist,
Bruce
back in the day.
Which one?
Way back in the day.
Jim Aparo.
No, even before him.
Carmine.
Carmine Infantino. Yeah, I got to see him in New York, and it was funny because I was walking with a friend. This is like a Big Apple Comic Con, and next I'm talking, and then I look to the side. I'm still talking, and I look, my friend disappeared. I look back, he's online. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, yo, don't you see who that is? And I see the name. I'm like, oh my God, Carmine Infantino. Holy shit! One of the last times that he did a con. It was amazing, and it was nice to see that there was a line for him. But times when you don't see lines for legends, and it feels so sad.
Well, no, that's the funny thing is, man, it's like when Mobius befriended me at some point, I felt like a stray cat. He took me in and and we'd hang out and I say this about Frank Miller as well. Like there's two Frank Millers in my mind. There's Frank, my friend Frank, and then there's Frank Miller. And like I deal with Frank, who's just a human being I know, and we do things and go to dinner, hang out at his place, listen to Johnny Cash or whatever. And then there's Frank Miller. And every once in a while we start talking about his work. And I'm like, holy shit, this is Frank Miller.
Yeah.
And same with Mobius. Like Mobius is Jean. And like we hang out and he's just a human being. And then every once in a while it's like, oh my God, this is Mobius. Like how, Moebius, like how in the world did I become friends with this guy? And I realized eventually he was showing me things. And he was passing on knowledge to me that he needed to pass on, And it's like, okay, then, we talk about things. I'm like, I ask him questions. I'm like, how did you do that? How'd you do that? Why did you do that? And he has answers for things. Like, oh, I did it because of this, or I did it because of that. And then he's just Jean. It's like, okay, well, here comes your, whatever food we were eating, your shrimp or something, whatever it was. You know what I mean? It's like you can see the two sides of the artist. Like
That's lovely.
Like,
yeah, my friend has that type of relationship. Bud, big salute to Bud. He has that relationship with Don McGregor.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
So he's helped Don at cons, and as a friend helps him out. They hang out, But then at a point in time, my boy he starts telling me about the comic book days, the Marvel bullpen from back in the day. And he goes, and then he goes, oh my God, just like you say, oh shit, I am chilling with Don F.M. McGregor. What the hell? I mean, remember, he got fired because I love that story when he says that, he was doing the Black Panther book. Marvel felt the way that he said, well, you need to put more white people in it. And so he decided to do a KKK story. and they gave him shit for it.
That's very funny. Well, Miller tells me the story that back in the day, when Marvel and DC were both in New York City, for some reason I gravitated toward DC, right? I'm more of a Batman guy, right? So rather than Wolverine guy. But he told me in the old days, in the 70s, they would have a volleyball match. So it was all the DC artists versus the Marvel artists.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was all friendly. It was like
as it should be. You guys work on the greatest culture ever. I want to see indie companies, go beat up on the big two, because I'm sure the indie guys have better ball players. Come on, man, let's make it happen.
I think that's probably right. I mean, to Dan DiDio's great credit, when I was working at Vertigo, he used to once a month or so, he would host a party at this place called McGee's, which was like just an Irish pub. I think it was on 56th Street, New York City, born and bred.
All right. Yeah, I'm a Brooklyn boy, Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
There you go. Hey, you're in my old neighborhood, man. I used to live on Milton Street.
Oh, well, man, Morgan Avenue and Driggs. That's where I was at.
I hear you. Right. I hear you. Okay. But he would host the party for everybody that does any work at all for DC Comics, right? From the mailroom to the top. Everybody would go. And it was a floor of a Irish pub, and people would go, and like you could mingle. His whole point was, I want you to know everybody in the business. And I wound up meeting one of the guys from the mailroom, and I was working on 100%, one of my books that deals with boxing.
Okay.
And my cousin's a semi-pro boxer. And that's a whole story in itself. I'll tell you about it if you want. But I met this dude, and he was in the mailroom. His nickname was Feathers. We called him Feathers. And he's like, man, I got tickets to Madison Square. Like, you want to go see a pro fight? My cousin's gonna fight. The lead fight was Trinidad, so this is going back a bit, but it was like,
Wow, with Tito, holy shit.
it was
Nice.
heavy, man. It was a heavy fight, and we went, and it's like, wow, this is incredible. Like, Dan DiDio made an opportunity for me to meet a guy in the mailroom whose brother is a pro boxer, and I'm doing research on a book about boxing.
And you are in the middle of watching one of the greatest, champs in the business at the time, in Tito Trinidad. Holy shit, bro. Man,
Dude,
the algorithm, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And Trinidad was cool. He came out, he met everybody, shaked his hand before the fight.
So you even just met him too?
Yeah, I met him. It's
dope,
like,
bro.
yeah, he was a cool dude. It's like, cool.
Yeah, man, he talks Spanish very fast. Like, I'm from the island too, but since I've been in the States, my Spanish has slowed down in speed.
Despacio.
Despacito, for real.
Are you Puerto Rican or Dominican? Where you come from?
I'm 100% Puerto Rican, born on the island.
All right, baby, my chingon.
But raised in Brooklyn, New York, man. You know what it is.
Well, there's more of you here now than there are there now.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing too, because we got to make sure that home still is full of our people, take care of our home and our land. And it's okay to bring in people. We definitely got to take care of our home and make sure we are the population in the.
Well, that's the thing that they said about the Roman Empire is the reason it existed and survived for so long is because whenever they quote unquote conquered a new place, they said, we're going to let you keep your land. We are going to let you marry whoever you want. We're going to let you believe whatever God you want. All we want is the roads, and we want the cash, like the currency. So you're going to use Roman coins. And then that's it. You can have your family, you can have your home, etc. And I think that's the beauty, because the Caribbean is really a special place. It's the first place where Africans were emancipated.
Yeah.
I mean, Haiti was the first place where they resisted the French, and there was a revolution, and then it spread out, man. It's like we keep spreading. Mental revolution is what we need.
It's a preach, man. Yeah, man. So
I have preached
some enlightenment.
Right,
some good stuff, and people need to learn more. We're in listen, man. We could be in a better place. We need to just, be fully awoken and understand where we're at. I really believe that. I mean, listen, man, I'm good, and I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm putting good energy out there. So everybody do their part for good energy, help one another, bless one another, celebrate one another, and trust me that we could shift the narrative. Now,
exactly. We have to. We got to push it. We got to push it a bit. I don't know which direction, left or right. I mean, I'm not a really political person.
Yeah, I'm not a political. What I want is, listen, respect for everyone, peace, and let's take care of the things that, matter first. You know what I mean? Let's take care of
family,
universal health care, family, our kids, you know what I mean? Our women.
Education. Our women,
absolutely.
education.
Real education, not fabricated bullshit.
No, I hear you.
And then usable education, teach kids to be business owners, not slaves.
Exactly.
Things like that. There's the type of shit. I wish I could have learned more about where I'm from when I was in school. But I learned after the fact. By doing my own self research, if you will.
Well, my family are Irish, by way of Scotland. I found out. And so I came from people that were from the south of Ireland, going back, I think, 200 or 300 years. And it's like everyone's from somewhere. Like nowadays, when people I grew up in Ohio, on a farm, and some people think it's funny. Like they have assumptions about what does that mean about you? I'm just like everybody.
Right, they imagine you had overalls, barefoot, playing around with little piggies, right?
In overalls, But it doesn't mean anything. It just that's where you grew up,
Yeah, that's all.
When you have agency as a grown-up, you have choice. And when I got old enough, I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna move to New York City, man. Because I fell in love with Iggy Pop and I fell in love with Lou Reed and
Oh man, yeah,
all
bro.
that. It's like I'm a rock and roll dude, and it's like
Yeah, when it
I
came
need.
to Lou Reed, bro, it was the butcher in the supermarket when I was like 17 years old. This older gentleman, he sees that I always had headphones. You know, I grew up in the hip hop, freestyle house music. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? You know, and
mhm.
getting into early rock and roll. You know, Bon Jovi, you know, and shit like that.
Zeppelin.
Metallica, Zeppelin. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
So my
yeah.
man says, "Hey, you ever heard of Lou Reed?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So my man brought me a tape. You know, when tapes existed, kids, you know, a cassette
Mhm.
tape. And man, he put me on to the song Heroin. He goes, "I want you just to sit down."
Oh, it's a rough song. That's a hard one to
He
listen
goes,
to.
he goes, just listen to it though, and understand the journey he's taking you on. And you know, so as a kid, early smoking weed days, I smoked the L. Wrong thing to do for that song, because man, that shit
Probably.
is trippy as hell. And I was like, wow, that's when I really, really got the power of music. Like, yo, you know, we could talk about so many things, but wow, this man took me through a fucking journey of
Wow.
his high in music. How crazy is that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I forget the Great Pretender is my favorite. I think it's the
Oh,
one
that's dope.
down at the arcade, down at the arcade. What
Oh,
is it, like a
bro.
pocket of nickels, pocket of quarters, and he's just like I'm at Coney Island and I'm playing pinball. It's like
Oh, he said Coney, bro. I remember the good old days,
you
the
know,
Hell Hole and all that good stuff over there. Remember that ride?
yeah,
It was,
I've been down there a few times. I've been over there. I'm New
good
York City,
times,
baby.
bro.
Yeah,
I feel you, brother. That's
20,
what we gotta do.
20, 26, 27 years by this point. So yeah,
See,
I've lived
so
half my life here. Yeah.
all right, see, you see, New York City. Let's talk about that because Mars is as alive as New York City. It feels alive as New York City, right? In your book. So, what real Earth locations really did help? Was it New York? You know, help shape the THB visuals, or more Ohio, or just your world experience and
Well,
a combination
it
of it?
it's a couple things. It's a great question. So, I grew up in the country, and it was a lot of like highway driving and like radio towers and the distance at night, this kind of stuff. And
I'm
then
in Massachusetts now, so I kind of understand.
okay, man, yeah, yeah. So I mean, most places in America are like that. And then I was watching a lot of the spaghetti westerns, right? So I was watching, Once Upon a Time in the West with Charles
Oof,
Bronson,
oof, great one.
something. So you're thinking about the desert, right? And then eventually driving across the country to go to the desert. There's that. And then when you move to New York, I moved here with my best friend, and he and I made a deal. It's like there's too much to take in. So like why don't you give yourself a rule that you can only take four things in a day? Like it could be any because there's so much texture to the city, and you might walk down the street, next thing you know you're in a jazz club, or next thing you know you're eating sushi, or next thing you know you're seeing a car accident, whatever it might be. And it's like, all right, well, this is what I signed up for. And so I put all those things together, and then in THB, it's like I want to tell the story of an urban setting in a desert involving basically a child who doesn't know anything about the world, and she's learning about the world for the first time. And then the secret weapon is based on my sister. I knew the character already because I lived with her, right?
Gotcha.
So it's like, okay, I want to write a story that follows her story, but it's based upon the life I've lived. You know what I mean? So that's the sauce right there.
Beautiful. Look at that. My man is in the kitchen for real, cooking it up, baby.
Stirring
Now,
it. I'm stirring it, baby.
so HR's father's enemies bring real danger, right? So, what inspired that political undercurrent in the book?
That's a good question too.
Listen, I'm all about that. I'm trying to dig deep here. I told you, man. I'm trying to
No,
learn because this book is fantastic, and people need to understand.
well,
Like,
thank you,
it's
thank you.
deep, and you gotta like you're talking about 1,000 pages overall, hopefully
Hmm.
throughout
Hmm.
5 books, man. Listen, this is gonna be shelf porn.
Self porn, yeah. I I think I was around 18 years old when I had a distinct feeling that I lost faith in authority.
Mm,
I realized people who are in power have no more morality than I do.
bro,
In fact,
man.
I probably have more morality than they do.
You have more morality in your pinky than most of those folks
Yeah,
out there. Promise you.
yeah. This was, I mean, when I was younger, I was talking to my sister about this the other day. I don't know about her situation, but for me, I was always more interested in the intellect and art practice, and I never thought about psychology. I never thought about like what motivates people, what kind of people are they, how do I identify sociopaths or narcissists? And then as I've gotten older, I've been a lot more
Aware.
attenuated.
And
Yeah,
also,
more aware. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
because
well,
you listen, you came to New York, so you went into a
I
multi-part of personality that okay, now you are definitely in the kitchen where okay, you
well,
listen, you're gonna meet one version of everybody every single day.
probably. I mean, I know. I'll tell you one thing, man. I mean, like I was trained to be kind of a diplomatic person, so I know homeless people. I know multimillionaires. I don't think I've met a billionaire yet, but like there are all kinds of people with all kinds of stations in life and backgrounds, and I think the good thing is to be empathic and like to just talk to them and
Oh, bro, yeah,
understand them. You hear
uh-huh.
me?
Yeah, I like your
Yeah,
energy so much, bro. You 100 on that. I think that's the key. I like you also know people are many different levels of the social ladder, if you will. And
sure. And
and I'm
which
nowhere.
keep
I'm not at top. I'm not in the bottom. I'm in the middle.
uh
You know what? I feel I'm in a happy place. That's it. I'm happy.
that's
If
good.
if I could pay my bills and I could help my daughter, I'm in a happy place. And everything
Yeah.
else I'm doing is just filling my time up until I'm not here no more. You feel me?
Hmm. Hmm.
So this
That's
is
it,
what it
man.
is for
I
me.
mean, the thing about artists is I think there's an impulse you have where if you're a person like me, where you have an early indication that you're going to die at some point, you want to defy death. And I think that's probably why artists start making art because they have this impulse or compulsion to put their life on paper or a guitar or something. And like they want to make sure that they're going to be remembered, because it's very painful to think about like no one's going to know me in 100 years. 200
Mm.
years, I'm going to be nothing. Like Ozymandias, look upon my works, ye mighty, and weep. And it's a pile of
Yes.
sand, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that's what starts you off, and then it's like eventually you start working. It's like, you know what? If I'm locked into life on this planet in this time with this skill set, I have things to say about life, and I'm no longer concerned about being immortal. Like early on, that's what you think about because you're a dummy. You're 18 years old. You don't know any
Yeah,
better.
you're young and you have more in front of you than behind you. But
Exactly.
at this time, I have more behind me than in front of me. So I look at life
Hmm.
a way different perspective now.
I did. Yeah, it's funny. The older I'm getting, I'm a little more, I would say like relaxed, maybe. Like I still have urgency. I still work a lot, and I've definitely a lot of work to do before I'm gonna kick off, hopefully. But when I'm gone, man. And it's like if I left a mark in our industry, that's great.
Well,
I'll be,
I think you already have, bro. That's a fact.
but you can't stop. That's the thing. You can't
Of course
stop. Like
not. Never stop.
if yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm glad people like the work I do, and I try my best to like be great. But one day regardless of all that shit, death's going to come up and take you. And it's like, all right, well then at that point it's over. And then you look back on your legacy. It's like, what did I do? You have a daughter. I would love to have a daughter. I don't have any children, but I would love to. And it's
I
like,
know I only have one. I know I'm Puerto Rican, 50, only one kid. Yeah, surprising, I know, folks, but it's possible.
that sounds to me like a lot of practicing, if I may say.
Oh man, my pull-out game is on point, baby.
I hear you, man. But yeah, that's what. Well, with God's luck and the creek don't rise, I might get there myself. But you know, yeah, I think the impulse of the artist is you want to express yourself, and there's a sense of urgency because you realize you're not going to live forever.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people can confuse themselves and waste their time looking at Angry Birds or TikTok or porn or whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah.
And then guys like me, I'm going to lock myself in a room and torture myself for the next 6 months and finish a book.
That's something I want to do, conquer next, man.
It's hard because, my sister my sister is a really interesting person. You should interview her, actually. She has this interesting concept about, she's very interested in neuroscience. And easy dopamine, you get like a rush where you feel good, like dopamine rush, something.
Yep,
Easy dopamine is like anything you can do, like drive fast in a car or get a nice dinner or listen to a good song or kiss a girl, whatever it might be. Hard dopamine is when you do something that's difficult. Like for me, finishing a graphic novel is hard dopamine. So when Battling Boy is done, I'm going to get a rush of hard dopamine, and I'm going to be like, okay, wow. Like I could trade the bowl of ice cream for, the next 6 months of torture in order to get hard dopamine, And I think that's something worth meditating on because a lot of people go for easy dopamine, and I think the hard dopamine is the place to be.
Yes.
Look at our favorite. You like sports, right? Let's look at our favorite.
I enjoy sports. Not that I think I liked it a lot more before, but I get into creative space now of making music. So
okay.
And when I dive into making a song, because I like to really write about my past experiences, and so I get into it, and so okay, so for me, the quote dopamine is putting up a quick post on the website. My hard dopamine is sitting down and like, yo, how do I feel about today? How do I feel about this idea? How am I going to convert this into a song? And and when I come off with the track that I come off with, like, it just brings,
it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
There is no blunt on the world that could make me feel as good as me having a song that I'm happy with. That makes me even want to dance. I'm like, oh shit, I'm jamming to this shit. Yeah,
Okay.
So I get you. I understand you, my brother.
It's a great feeling, man. I mean, I think that's the trick. And it's funny because, like I said, I never thought about psychology growing up. I never thought about it. I never cared. But the older I'm getting, I'm thinking about other people and how they operate. Because, like otherwise, living as an artist like this, it's like you're kind of a Robinson Crusoe type. You're sort of on an island by yourself, and it's like, okay, well, if I'm writing and drawing comic books, I don't really need a lot of input. I mean, maybe you talk to your editor once in a while. Make sure you get paid. Or like, what do you think about this script? Is this good? Do you think this is worth publishing? Then you get feedback. It's like, okay. And then it's like, really, at the end of the day, like nobody's gonna hold your hand, man. It's like to do the shit, you got to do it alone. And then when you're done, it's usually 3 a.m, and you're tired, and you step back and you look at it, and you're like, I did it. I can finally go to bed. I can sleep.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like that's that's the meditation I'm having, because easy dopamine is like if you go out to the bar or you talk to some girl or you eat some ice cream, like I said, it's something like that. But like the hard part is when you dedicate yourself to a project. Look at THB, it's 1,000 pages. It's ridiculous.
1,000, bro.
Who,
1,000.
it's ridiculous. Who in the world would enlist to do 1,000 pages of comic books?
Man, listen, bro. I know your name
This-
is Pope.
This idiot.
I mean, my man wrote his own Bible over here. I
Well,
love it, though.
that's my nickname now. You know, people know me, and I live in Greenwich Village, and they call me the Pope of Greenwich Village.
Oh shit! There we go, bro. We're
Yeah.
about to buy you a whole fit, and in a whole comic book print. You know what I mean? Let's go, man. With pages of all your favorite comic books, but that's the fit. We gotta make it happen, bro. Now, for real though, your characters always feel like they're sprinting off the page, right?
Yeah.
So, is
Well, they
there
are.
is there any THB character that's fun to draw, and one which maybe fights you the hardest?
My favorite character is a side character called Casey James, and she's the most badass character in the book. There's two badass characters in THB. That you've got Casey James, and then you have McCain. McCain is the code hero. So Casey went to the same school as there's HR right there. So Casey went to the same school as HR, but she was graduated, and she's basically paramilitary. And when we get to the second book, you'll get to a scene where she fights a super mech, which is what I call like the super machines or super mechs.
Okay.
And she warns the machine. She's like, I have to tell you, I'm a graduate from the Academy of Advanced Disciplines, and I'm schooled in the 5 fingers of the 5 styles. You know, this like Wu-Tang shit.
And then
And then, yeah, she is. And then McCain is the same. McCain is, well, I won't tell anything about McCain, but McCain gradually becomes revealed. He's a bodyguard, but he has a special story, and it'll come out. So yeah, so our first book here with THB Volume 1 is the early days of HR, and HR is meeting THB for the first time. And she's not quite sure what he is, so he feels kind of like a toy in the beginning, but gradually she learns to trust him, and she gets into dilemmas, and THB is there to help her.
Gotcha.
He doesn't, and he's not like a subservient person. He doesn't tell her everything he knows. He doesn't do everything she wants.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a surrogate father type, or like a godfather, you might say.
See, I want to talk about this though, because look at what we're looking at here, folks. Right? THB is printed in stark black and white now.
Yep.
So, what does removing color add to the reading experience, in your opinion?
That's a good question, because we went back and forth on color for THB. We always went for color. And
Okay.
I think the idea was we wanted to keep it analog, and we wanted to keep it as close to the original as possible. Even though all of these pages have been reshot from the original art, I have all the original art, which is like a 5-foot tall stack of artwork.
Damn! I mean, 1,000 pages. I'm sure.
Bro, this is what I did in my 20s. I mean, other people sat in bars and drank beer. I made THB.
Bro, but
You
good
know.
on you.
Well,
like
I don't
that.
know. I don't know. It didn't feel like work at the time, but it's pretty lonely, I'll tell you that much. But I did it. And
That's creation, brother, and it's all right, man. You know, it's all good.
yeah, exactly. And then, so a lot of the artists I love are Italians, and there's a long tradition of great Italian cartooning that's stark black and white. And then take it back even further, I love Milton Caniff, Terry and the Pirates, which is his
Oh, okay. I know Terry.
major, Mary. Terry and the Pirates, not Marion. Merry Christmas, Terry and the Pirates. And like that was a big influence. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually in love with the brush. I want to draw with the brush. And I don't think you need a lot of like, here, let me grab a couple over here. You don't need color if you draw with a brush and the lines do all the work, right? This right here, my friend, this is a 555.
Okay.
Now this thing is going to give you a hair width line.
All right.
Meaning it's going to look like a hair.
All right.
This one I use all the time. This is the 3. This thing is useful. Never let you down.
Gotcha.
And I've got an array of them. I've got probably 50 brushes sitting over here.
Wow.
Oh, and here's the secret weapon. I'm gonna give this one away.
Oh, that's a makeup joint, ain't it?
Bro, go to the CVS and get one of these. Go ask some girl what's the best makeup brush.
Yeah.
This will give you special weapons.
Really? I love it. I love it. Yeah, your artists, you hear these tips on here from this legend right here? Come on now. Come on now. Comic Crew hooking you up with the tips right here. Let me playing right now. This is this book right here. This is the John. Now, you've inspired generations of artists. Now, what advice would you give to the younger you who first drew THB?
Man, I'm gonna skip the advice for me because I already took my own advice. I'm gonna say it to the young people now.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Do not give up. Do not quit. The only way you lose is when you quit. If you do not give up, you will win. And it may not look like you think it will, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
Me? Bro, I mean, I won a 1969, Dodge Demon,
Ooh, yeah.
I want a good car. I can just drive around a Ford Mustang, 1969. But that also means I have to learn how to work an engine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I will do. No, bro, I'm for real. I'm like that's the way it's got to be.
That's the shit for me too. I want to get a muscle car like a GTO or a Charger. I want to be able to fix it myself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Let's
that means
go.
you need to meet the mechanics, and you need to hang out with dudes that know about cars. And it's like if I'm driving on the highway, I don't want no Hyundai, or some Kia.
I used to work in Wall Street, and these stockbrokers used to walk in. You see my watch? I'm wearing a Hyundai on my wrist. They used to say.
Who gives a fuck, man? I mean, a car is really sexy, and if you get a good one, I mean, man, I think Ford Mustang 1969 is the best car. Dodge Demon 1969 is cheaper, so that's probably more in. I mean, I could probably afford either one, but depending on condition of the car.
Yeah, man.
But it's like, I live in New York City, so I don't. Yeah, but right now I live in New York City, so I don't really need a car. But that's one of the few.
Thank you. Let them know, because I told people, like, the common joke is that no man in New York City has a license until they're 40. And I'm a living example of that, because I got my license at 40. Like, only when I moved to Massachusetts, I say, "Oh shit, there's no train."
Yeah.
I got listen. Every New Yorker knows how to drive. Trust me. We just don't get our license.
Dude, I've been driving since I was 15, and my license just expired. So it's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna get my license again, let me look at some cars I could possibly buy. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want an economical car. I think I want a kind of a badass car.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Let's
I
use
want
those fossil fuels.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, you're actually bringing up a good point, because I'm like, I want a Ford Mustang. I don't know why they don't make cars like that anymore, because those are just the best looking cars in the world.
Yeah, man. They push. I don't know what they push it for. Like, give me that good old American muscle. I mean, those were beautiful
Right.
cars, man. Powerful,
Yeah.
man. Oh, man. My dad, he's the one that put me on because he used to have the Camaros, the Trans Ams. You know what I mean? You know, I didn't get to see his Mustang that he claimed he had. You know, he get the Cadillac Eldorados. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Brookhams.
I had an Eldorado back in the old days.
Oh, bro, yeah, I
It had
love them caddies too.
80,000 miles on it. It was dark blue, but it got me where I needed to go, you know?
Man, A to B, baby, A to B. Let's go, let's go. Now, let's talk here. Two more questions before we go, because THP's world is in fact massive. It's tech, it's culture, it's danger, it's emotion. What corners of Mars are you most excited for readers to rediscover?
Well, THB was a self-published series, and I didn't have the money to keep republishing the books. So I've met countless people who have one or two issues of THB. So this is our chance to get the whole series into one place.
Nice.
Right? And so it's like the story is basically about young people figuring out who they are. That's really what this book's about. There's musicians, there's artists, there's bureaucrats, there's industrialists, there's badasses.
It's Manhattan.
Yeah, basically, right? Yeah, so that was, and it's probably what drew me to Manhattan, actually. So that was what I was going for.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so creativity can be exhausting and exhilarating, right? So what part of making THB filled you with the most joy, especially this time around, and seeing it come back?
I think it's probably when you do a perfect line. It's the hardest thing in the world to make a perfect line, and eventually you reach that point. There were points especially in THB 2, where I'm like, wow, I actually did it. The thing I think in my mind, I was able to put on the page. Because a lot of the work of the artist is preliminary, and you're trying to get the idea out of what you think onto the page. And at one point, if you don't quit, that's why you can't quit, young shavers. You can't quit. You get there, and you're like, oh man, I did it. Oh fuck, there it is. And let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Then you're in your 2,000 hours. Then you're in your 3,000 hours. And eventually you become a master. Right? You see what I'm saying? It's like,
absolutely.
Everybody starts and they're like, oh, I like to draw Wolverine is cool. Let me draw Wolverine. It doesn't look very good. Let me draw it again. I did this all the time when I was a teenager. Oh, I like Wolverine. I like the style of Paul Smith, of John Byrne.
Yeah.
Let me try and do that. And it doesn't look very good. Fuck. Then the next one, okay, let me try it again. I'll be a little bit more precise. How does that look? And then you keep going. That's the one thing. You cannot give up. You cannot give up. That's the one rule.
I agree. 20 years for Comic Crusaders next year. So, 20 years on the grind myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a veteran now. I'm with you. I'm a veteran on the battlefields too. Let's go.
Good, man. Of the psychic wars. Yeah. I like it. Good. I'm glad to meet you in the field of the Lord, my friend.
But listen, man, hopefully we get to meet in person when I go to New York Comic Con next time or whatever Comic Con, and hang out, bro.
I would love that.
We either smoke a blunt or we drink a beer, but we do sign, all right? So, but for real, Paul, thank you for blessing us today, for real, hermano, because you are, in fact, a titan of comics.
Well, thank you for blessing me, allowing me to meet your audience and talk to you and have some real words,
Yeah, brother, no, man. I dig
means
it.
a lot. Means a lot, man.
Listen, but you are a visionary of ink and imagination. And now with Total THB Volume 1, you're about to blow a whole new generation's mind. So
I
to
hope
all
so.
my crusaders out there, for real, get ready to rock it back to Mars because THB is coming through like a 9-foot bodyguard with attitude. You heard? So get it now. Buy it now, share it, shout it out, taboo, tattoo THB on your heart. Whatever you gotta do, because this is big WEPA energy as always, and I need you guys to stay loud and stay proud. And as always, man, support independent comics, support my man right here, Pope. It's peace, it's love, and it's that WEPA energy. Comics, indie, comic crew, smash that like, turn on notifications, and come on through when we talk to dope folks like Paul Pope over here, man. Thank you again, Paul, for your time. I appreciate you, all right?
Me chingon. Talk to you later, man.
Hasta la próxima, WEPA. You know what it is. Ooh.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.